I got this first ledger board up, and I cut it so it was snug. See, I had to kind of tap it in there because I didn't want it to fall down, and I wanted it to be tight enough so that I could tap it up or down or whatever, because my flooring is 3/4 of an inch thick. And so I did that on both sides. I checked the middle. The middle's just a hair short, but I can float that or something. In fact, this right here, if I were to pull a chalk line all the way across here, it kind of dips down right here in the middle, and I didn't want to go down any further on the ends, because if anything, when the water comes in, I want it all to be channeled to this outside. Okay, so I don't want it to dip down into that corner, because if anything, I want it around that corner to be up slightly high and then taper down this way, and the same thing over here, so that I can channel this water in this corner off over this way and down. Okay, so I got this one here too, and I even put liquid nail behind this because that was a plywood false beam along the side. It wasn't 2x8 material, 2x6 material, 2x8, 2x10, anything like that. It was like plywood, and so I wanted to make sure I put screws in there, and I got the liquid nails back in there. And before I went and screwed it all off, I just wanted to make sure I was exactly right, because I had it right over there, and I had a screw in there, and it was up just a little bit too high after I measured it. And so I wanted to lower it. I wanted to take into consideration all this stuff, and if anything, the outside is just a hair taller because this stuff here got wet and it expanded a little bit. So I wanted to make sure I was 3/4 here. And so the beauty of using a screw is I took the screw out, tapped it down a little bit, and pre-drilled another hole and put the screw in, checked it before I put more screws in it. You can do that with screws. You can't do that with nails. And I didn't want to use a nail. Here's a knot. I didn't want to use a nail right there. It could have split the 2x6. This wood back under here is 17 years old, and so I thought, nothing doing. I'm going to pre-drill, measure that, and I cut that nice and tight, and I used my little angle piece on there, and I held it up on top of here. I got the right angle, and then I transferred this angle to my wood, because this is the high point. This is a low point. If you were to put a square on here, it's not square. This tip is sticking over beyond square a little bit, and this one, if you put a square on there, the square's up this way. So see, I just set that up above, but now that I have that, I can just hold that on there and I get my angle. And remember I told you I was going to put my string? Well, I don't think I'm going to put my string, but if I did, if this was the outside, I could have put my string on there, and here put a screw in there, wrapped the string around there, and then held this up to the string. But because this column is here, I've got a pretty good idea that this cut over here is going to be the same as that. And before I put these pieces on, I'm going to cut. I've measured a long one 16 inches over to about here, and I measured from the long point to the short point, and I'm going to cut it kind of snug, and I'm hoping it's going to fit snug right there, and I'm going to use that one for right there, 16-inch centers. But I don't have the exact mark yet. I've just got the approximate, and then I'm going to tap that over to here and over to here. That way it'll get me my exact line for those little blocks. Okay, and then I can look at that, and it should be, this line here now should be level straight across, and then it's from that point should be going downhill, and I'm going to check that out once I put that one piece on here, because this long piece is never going to change, right? Never going to change. So then I can double check this, and if I have to, if I think, oh wait, this corner is going to be too low or it's going to be too high, I need to tap it down a little bit, I may have to adjust this plate here, and I don't mind doing that. I only have 2 screws in it. I can undo the screw, tap that down, tap it up, whatever, tap it down, tap it up, whatever I have to do, because I don't know if their wall, if their existing wall is exactly where it's supposed to be in relation to this wall and that wall. You follow me? So that's why I'm not going to nail this off. I'm not going to screw it off. If you start nailing this off and you wanted, oh shoot, I want to move that slightly down because it's not lining up with this. Oh well, I just have a bump in the outside corner there, or a dip in the floor or whatever. You know, if you have a dip there, the water's going to settle right there and it's not going to come out. Or if it's up too high, maybe the water gets caught in this corner and it doesn't come over this way to then go out over there. So lots of things I have to take into consideration. So I've got my angle piece, and I'm going to transfer this angle, and I held it, and it's pretty close to the same angle over here. If I line that up, it's pretty close to being the same. Okay, slightly off, but it could be because of the stucco or something. I'm going to use this angle for both of them and see how well it works out for this first one, and then I'll cut it snug. Like I say, I want to try to cut it snug so I don't have to just hold it up by myself and try to line everything up. So if I get it snug now, I won't have to do that. You follow? And then once I do that, I can get everything adjusted exactly how I want it. And over here, I don't know exactly where this one is supposed to go yet, but I do know where this last one goes. From here over to there. The last joist is actually going to be right about in here. And so I'm going to cut one, do it the same way with my little angle piece, okay? And then I'm going to shove it over tight to the wall, and I'm going to put a pencil mark, kaboom, and a pencil mark at the top, and that'll tell me exactly where those two go. And then from there I can use a level and go straight across and get myself a mark, use a level straight across, put a mark, and then I can cut a board at the end and run it across and make sure that it's still going down at an angle, and it should be. And if I have that level, if anything, I might even want it up slightly so that when the water comes down, it tilts in the, because I want the water to go out that way. I don't really want it to go right in here and go out of my step, and chances are it's not going to do that anyways because the water's going downhill. So in fact, I might want to cheat this a little bit and have that up just a little bit, and I might want to have this side up just slightly up. You follow me? So that the water, when the water's here, is going to kind of come this way, and then it's going to swale down and go out at the front here. You see what I'm saying? So, but I know one thing for sure, this last board has to go right there to right there, and then I'll make my determination of what's going on over there. I'll take the flashing off. I got the flashing piece on that. I'll hold that up there, line that up, and see what's going to happen. Because see, if I got just a perfect level line right there, when the water hits this wall, it's just going to kind of set there, isn't it? Until there's enough water, and then hopefully it'll go over here and go down. I don't want it to go to the left and settle right here in this corner, and then try to eat a hole through over here. You know, I want everything channeled over here. And they might have done that, I don't know, because everything was so messed up when I ripped it apart, I couldn't check anything. As you know, I had to rebuild this whole column and do all that. So now I can play around with it and adjust it. If I raise this side up, I can raise that side up the same, and then the angle will still be going down. So if the water's here, it's going down this way, but then when it gets about to here, the water's going to go down this way, and then it's going to go down between those columns. Whew. I'm glad I'm making a video of this, because I wouldn't even have really thought about that at first, of making that up just a little bit and up just a little bit, and direct the water this way, you know, to go around the column. Before, maybe there was a low spot right here, maybe there was a flat spot, and the water got caught right in here and it puddled, and eventually it ate through, it found a crack, and then it got underneath there. Same thing over here. This could have been, their block right here could have been slightly low, and when the water was here, instead of going out over to here where it's supposed to, maybe it was right here, and maybe it was kind of puddling to this outside corner and right to this inside right here. So see, I don't know how they built it, and at this point I can do a couple different things over here, like I explained, because now I'm rebuilding it on my own. Okay, and I'll look at that over there. Once I level that across there, I might do the same thing over here. You know, I can't raise this side up too high, because I don't want it up too much higher than this. You know, if I go up about 1/8 inch above that, that's okay. But I want to encourage this water here is going to be going at an angle downhill. I kind of want it to come out over this way as well. But I'll have to look at this and see. Here's the little weep holes I was talking about. See those? In fact, that one's got caulking in it. That one's got half caulking in it, so nothing weeped through there. And see, when the water was here before, look where that weep hole is. It's about 1/4 inch above this inside corner. So do you really think water is going to go out of that weep hole? No. The water's going to sit there until it finds the lowest point. You're not going to have the water built up that far. Look, this one's up too high. See? This one is down low, but there's a little bit of concrete in it or something. It's just a pinhole. And when they put that sand in here, they could have had some sand granules in the way. After they put the tiles down, they put some very fine sand to put into the joints and stuff, and on this outside edge they did the same thing. And so sand went down in there because I had to sweep it all out, I remember. So see, if that was covered up, guess where the water sat? Yeah, it went over to this edge. Even though they had this wrapped before, eventually it's going to get weak right there, and the water's going to find a place to go out, and kaboom, and kaboom, and kaboom down there. You remember, this was all water damage. This was all water damage because the water went into the corner, kaboom. So all these different things I'm seeing now that I can prevent, because I'm here, I'm rebuilding everything, and now I know what to do.